All right. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? This is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. If you could, the like button, subscribe button, notification button. Make sure you stay up to date with all of my Teachable Tuesday videos. I would like to welcome you to part 2 of the love series, where I talk about different things this month involving relationships, dating, and one day when I reach that level of marriage, I'll talk about that as well. All right. So my last video was dedicated to my fellas. This one is still dedicated to my fellas. Last time I talked about dating and 3 mistakes that I've made in dating that I hope guys, can avoid. So today I'm going to be talking about relationships. 3 mistakes that you want to avoid in relationships / bad choices. And the reason why I include the bad choices aspect in this one is because I've certainly made some fair share mistakes, but I've also made some bad choices in being in a relationship. And the difference between a mistake and a bad choice is, yes, a mistake could be a bad choice, but a mistake is something that you didn't mean for it to happen. It just, took place or something. It was a miscalculation. But a bad choice was something that was intentional. You know what I'm saying? And you got to understand the difference. All right? So the examples I'm going to give you, they could be interchangeable depending on who you are. But of course, for each example, I'll tell you a story. And I'm going to start with number 1. I would say the number 1 mistake I've made within a relationship is not taking time to understand a woman's love language. Okay? Here's why I say that's important. And it's important for both partners, both people, men and women, to understand each other's love languages. So my love language is physical touch and quality time. Touch me, hug me, kiss me, hold my hand, let's cuddle. That's the type of guy I am. You know what I'm saying? So, all my ladies out there that's the same way. Hey, I'm that guy. And I also love quality time. I love spending time with people that I care about. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my personal space as well. But I love spending time with family, with friends, with my, my students. I love spending time with anybody that I consider a priority. You know what I'm saying? However, everybody's love languages are different, okay? Most of the women that I've dated, their love language was not necessarily physical touch. And that was a challenge for me because I might want to hug you and kiss you a whole bunch of times, but that might not be your thing. And as people, we got to learn that when something is not somebody else's thing, you got to learn to meet them halfway, just like they have to meet you halfway. So if their love language is not physical touch, they got to be willing to meet you there. Just like if your love language is not acts of service, but theirs is acts of service, you got to be willing to meet them there as well. I had a woman that I dated one time, and phenomenal woman, and her love language is not physical touch. But because she knew my love language was physical touch, she met me there. My love language was not gifts. And I love giving gifts, but I don't really care for receiving gifts. But because that was her love language, I made sure that I accommodated for her. So over time, I've learned to do better. But that's not something I considered at first. I just figured, oh, well, woman got to love me for me. Yeah, in a sense, but there's got to be give or take. You know what I'm saying? So again, fellas, you're in a relationship. Make sure you are paying attention to her love language. Make sure you are feeding her through her needs, okay? Number 2, this is a bad choice that I've made in a relationship, and this is kind of of course it's a bad choice, but cheating, all right? I've had relationships where I've been cheated on. I had one relationship in particular where I cheated on a woman, and, I know I'm exposing myself right now. It is what it is, so be it. If somebody can learn from my bad choices, then hey, that's all that matters. I had a woman that I was dating. It was a long distance relationship. Things seemed to be going great. I remember we got into it for like 2-3 weeks straight. And I mean, when I say into it, I mean like in a bad way. And I ended up cheating as a result. And it was completely wrong. To this day, I think back to it and I'm just like, dang, I regret what I did because I was dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to be on the side where you've been hurt in a relationship and you got to let somebody go. It's another thing where you got to let somebody go because you were the one that did the dirt. You know what I'm saying? So and ultimately she ended up forgiving me, but of course we didn't get back in a relationship. I knew it wasn't going to happen because, and honestly, I didn't feel like I deserved her because of what I did. I felt like I was dead wrong. So if you're ever in a situation where you feel like you're tempted to cheat, ask yourself, how is this going to affect you in the long run? How's the other person going to feel? And if you really feel like things are going that bad that you feel the need to cheat, you just need to leave. Pull a Darnell Jones. I'd rather leave than to cheat. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, trust me, a woman will respect you a lot more for being straight up and honest and doing the right thing. Will she still be upset? Probably so. But at least you ain't got to worry about well, he cheated on me and you having that guilt. So don't cheat, guys. All right, don't, ladies and gentlemen, both of you, both sides, don't cheat. It ain't right. Just leave, okay? So yeah, number 2, don't cheat. Number 3 mistake I've made while being in an actual relationship is not going through the hard questions early on. I did a Teachable Tuesday shorts about this a couple days ago. If you would like to check it out, I believe I titled it something along the lines of we should ask hard questions while dating or something like that. But before you get into a relationship, you need to ask these hard questions, even in the process of dating. And the reason why I say that is because if you don't, then it's going to get harder later on. And you would have already made that investment. And then when you realize it's not going to work out, it's harder to let that person go. Have the difficult questions and conversations up front. It makes a world of a difference. It's a lot less of a hassle. And ultimately, you guys will both thank yourselves later on because, you're going to have times where you're going to deal with hardships. You're going to have times where things are going to get difficult. You're going to have times where you're going to wonder, is this person really for me? And those who stand the test of times are the ones that know how to handle the trials together. Those who know how to handle the trials together are the ones that went through the difficult preliminary stuff beforehand instead of just waiting and holding it off till later. Yes, granted, when you get into a relationship, there is a honeymoon phase for most people. I get that. But even throughout that honeymoon phase, you need to be going ahead and taking that honeymoon out for a little bit and asking some real deal die-hard questions. All right? Trust me, it'll pay off in the long run. And I'll give you guys a bonus one for this one since I gave a bonus one for my previous video, which, by the way, once again, if you didn't check that one out, check that one out too. Okay? I'll leave a link down below. But my bonus one as far as a mistake or bad choice that I've personally made in a romantic relationship, I would say allowing my past to dictate what the relationship should be. As men, we hold a lot in. The problem with us holding so much in is we don't always release it enough to where we get the healing that we need, right? And when we don't get the healing that we need, we oftentimes look at past relationships that we've been in where we may have been hurt and we bring it into our new relationships, all right? I know the saying goes, hell have no wrath like a woman's fury, but the wrath that a man gives a woman for something she didn't deserve is almost just as bad, if not worse. Fellas and ladies, but especially my fellas, because fellas, I'm talking to you right now. If you feel like you are not fully healed, you probably don't need to be in a relationship because you will not be in a position to where you can properly lead. I'll say it again. If you feel like you are not healed, you probably should not be in a relationship because you will not be in a position where you can properly lead. A woman wants a man who can lead. Men, we can't lead unless we are in a position to be at our best. We're not in a position to be at our best if we are not healed from past tests. I get it. That woman hurt you. Maybe she cheated on you. Maybe you had a woman that broke your heart. Maybe you had a woman that falsely accused you of, hurting her in some form or fashion. I get that. However, we are still expected to perform. All right? I'm going to give you a real saying. A lot of people ain't going to like this, but I'm going to be straight up. People give excuses for women, children, and animals. People don't give excuses for men. It's either we show up and show out, or we don't show up at all. Okay? So if there's some things that you need to work on, heal. But don't blame a woman for past trauma that you've dealt with, knowing that she doesn't deserve that. Right? It'd be one thing if she was the one that caused the trauma. Then I could understand where you're coming from. If she ain't caused the trauma, don't bring the trauma to her life. If she's a great woman, has always done right by you, who's looking out for you, who's making sure you're well taken care of, who's providing you that peace and that balance, the last thing you want to do is upset that nature. All right? So if she ain't done nothing wrong to you, don't make it seem like she done nothing wrong with you. Or to you, I'm sorry. Okay? That's important. I know I get a lot of times on my channel, there are moments where I get on the ladies about things that they do. Fellas, I'm talking to you right now. All right? You got a good woman in your life, don't be bringing on no trauma. You got trauma that you need to deal with, you need to deal with it. Because you probably shouldn't have been in a relationship in the first place without dealing with it. But if you here now, it is what it is. Deal with it and don't take it out on her. All right? That's about it for this video. I love you guys. I appreciate every single one of y'all. I am exhausted. You can probably see it in my eyes by recording this video. It's pretty late, so I need to get myself ready for bed, get ready for work. But anyways, this is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Again, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, and share this video. Ladies, I got you next week. I got 2 videos coming y'all way for the love series. Make sure you stay tuned. Peace.